What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today at the request of Navi. Navi, this one's for you. I'm sorry it came out late, man, or woman. I don't know. I meant to make this video yesterday. I fell asleep. I've been falling asleep a lot this week, man. I really did need sleep. It's not ideal, the time of day that I make videos, you guys. It's really just dependent on my daughter, you know. Like, I got a 2-year-old, and she just happens to be a daddy's girl, so it's much easier to make videos when she's asleep. Of course, my wife can take care of her, and she does. She'll take her places, or, like, you know, let me have the house at times, and that's when I make videos in the daytime. But oftentimes, you know, we spend our days together as a family, like we like to, and I just, you know, I put this off until she's asleep. So enough of my excuses, though. I'm sorry I fell asleep yesterday, but let's get started. Let's talk about this. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, you guys. Here we are. MicroStrategy sitting at 1377. You guys, that was on Friday. Let's before we get to it, hold on. It's essentially this, but let's talk about Bitcoin here. Okay, BTC USD. This indicator that I'm putting up, it's called the correlation coefficient. It just shows essentially from a -1 to a 1 basis how correlated is this stock to Bitcoin. So you can see it has its phases where it's not correlated, as in Bitcoin can go up and this stock will go down. They're not correlated. But most of the time, they are correlated. Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy goes up. Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy goes down, right? They're pretty damn correlated. And we're in an area of correlation right now. Perhaps we are moving to a less correlated phase. Who knows? Maybe Bitcoin is boring, or like moves like this, or MicroStrategy moves like this. They can both like do decent, right? Move up. Maybe Bitcoin's more boring, but moving up together still technically. But this one's more exciting. That could cause it to decorrelate a little bit, right? Not negatively correlate, but just lose its like higher, closer to the 1 value correlation. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because if we look at Bitcoin here, BTC USD, MicroStrategy closed down on Friday 9.7%, right? It had that big old close. Now, Michael Saylor must have sold some of his MSTR to buy some BTC, because now, yesterday, literally Saturday, no, hold on. Is that Sunday? What the heck? Oh, I'm on the 4-hour. That's why. I'm like, how are there 2 Sundays in a row? Saturday we started to move up, only by 1%. The next day we moved up 2.9%, and today we're getting that follow through. We're up a lot more than we were on Friday. We closed Friday at about $60,000. We are now at $63,400 almost, right? So I do expect MicroStrategy tomorrow will open up to the upside. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be great. It looks like a very intimidating candle, but look at what you got. You got all this volume, all this intimidation with a higher low. It's just a higher low. From a low to a high point here, I don't know. It's not technically like a good look. I'm going to be honest. It's not technically a good look. Finding support just below the 382, coming up, rejecting the 236. Generally, I would expect with this kind of look that you'd go down to your 61869. And again, the correlation coefficient was suggesting that you're going through a phase where you're going to be less correlated than you currently are. Doesn't mean you have to be uncorrelated. Perhaps MicroStrategy does move down to about $1,200, $1,240. Perhaps it does. My thoughts, however, are that it's not going to do that. If it does, that's okay. Everything's going to be fine. You know, if it does do this, then instead of moving up from here, we go down first and then we move up. That's all that means, right? But I do think looking for targets to the upside are more appropriate than looking for targets to the downside. Though I will say that the RSI does not look encouraging. The fibs technically too don't look encouraging, but I'm not worried about it, man, because this thing is, if Bitcoin does well, it's hard to say that this thing's going to do bad. The next target area that I would really have for this thing is probably at this resistance point up here, this resistance zone at the 786 at about $1,700. I would expect that not only do we interact with this again, but we break through it. Perhaps we go just above it to the 886, right? Solid resistance here, just above it. Pull back, find support on your previous resistance, as is common. Go from your 886 to your 786, and then break through it, as is very common. And then once you break above that 886, once 1850 breaks, the next area to beat, or to go to really, is $2,400 to $3,050. You guys, The price is at 1,377 now. I'm calling for prices that are at least $1,000 higher, and that could happen as early as July. It could happen this next month. It might happen, and I would think more so that it would happen potentially in August. But the way that I have it drawn here, I mean, this seems like a decent rate, right? Like if I draw from a low point to a high point there, bring this line over, like that's basically the same rate of growth, right? Except you didn't have that divot there, whatever. So this is actually a more pessimistic rate of growth. I don't know. More prolonged perhaps, but I'm getting away from the point. What I'm trying to say is I would expect personally that either the end of July or probably more likely sometime in August we see these prices at $1,000 further than we are now, and beyond. Maybe like $1,600 further than we are now. And that's my call, man. I guess that's my call. From a low to a high point, again, don't be concerned, don't be worried. It's just a better opportunity to get in and get your calls set up. 1,243 to 1,195 is a potential target area. If I'm wrong and we don't bounce here and do everything that I was just laying out, we'll go down first and then we'll do all those things, right? And then, but time will tell. We'll see. A lot of the indicators, the daily RSI to me doesn't look exciting. The 3-hour also doesn't really look too exciting, to be completely fair. The weekly is bullish as hell, but you know, we can move down this next week, even the week after, and it would still look bullish. You could move down, you know, all the way down here and then close your week up, so you could pierce below this 50 but then end up closing above it. Like, a lot can happen in a week or 2 weeks time. So I'm not worried about the weekly RSI. The daily and the 3-hour do have me concerned a little bit that we could move down, but all in all, because of Bitcoin, I am calling that this thing moves up from here. That's what I'm calling for. So yeah, next target area is this resistance point at 1737. When we break above 1850, I think it's 1855 if I remember correctly, that's when it's go time. That's when it's time to break $2,000, $2,400, 1850, yeah, 1,850. But this is our next target area, 1727, 1730. That's our next target area. So that's all I got to say. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, looking like the company wants to see its stock grow in value. I mean, of course they want to, but I'm just saying it looks like it wants to go up, man. And if it goes down first, it's still going to go up after that. So that would just mean that everything I'm calling for happens at a later date, like maybe a couple weeks later, a month later, you know, nothing too dramatic. So just a better opportunity to get in. So anyways, take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.